Well, the election in House District 15 took another bizarre twist today. The Republican Party is now considering a write-in campaign against one of its own candidates. More on that in a moment, but first we turn to KTVA 11's Liz Raines, who has been digging deeper into a series of suspicious ballots, all from the same area of Muldoon, all for incumbent Gabrielle Ledoux. Liz.
Well, Joe, there are some interesting things happening in this district, including large numbers of adults registered to vote in a single home who residents there say they'd never heard of.
Some things in a House District 15 primary just don't add up. Voter registration data for the East Anchorage area shows in some cases there are 11 people registered to vote from a single home, including a man named Charlie Chang, a man who incumbent Gabrielle Ledoux reportedly flew up from California and paid $10,000 to help get out the vote in the Hmong community in her district. Despite being listed as living in California, Chang is registered to vote here.
Is this 705 Muldoon space 60?
Yeah.
This woman says Charlie Chang is her uncle, but he doesn't live here, and neither do the majority of people registered to vote at this address.
Call Chang, no, not here.
Laura Chang?
Yeah, me.
Oh, that's you. You're Laura Chang? Okay. Lu Chang?
Lu?
Lu Chang. Let's see if
No.
that matches up. Mong Chang?
No, he's not here.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know.
The story gets stranger. Even Laura Chang herself, who is registered to vote at 705 Muldoon Road, space 60, and clearly lives there, is reported to have voted somewhere else. According to Division of Elections absentee ballot data, all of the votes from people registered here were reportedly cast from different addresses, just one digit different, each space 60. Addresses we've confirmed don't exist. If they did, they'd all have to fit in between these two buildings.
But there are 5 adults here who voted?
Yeah, you want to know, you ask Gabrielle, okay?
I'm sorry?
You want to know, you want to ask Gabrielle.
Ask Gabrielle?
Yeah.
So we asked candidate Gabrielle Ledoux.
Oh, she said we should ask you. Do you know why she would say that?
I have no idea why she would say that, and I'm really not even sure, considering that so many of the Hmong people's English is not truly excellent, whether she truly understood the question.
We also asked her whether she had anything to do with so many apparent fraudulent absentee ballots.
But I wasn't involved at all in dealing with the Hmong folks in their absentee voting. I mean, that's what I hired Mr. Chang for.
Was Mr. Chang involved in those irregularities?
I hope not.
In all, the suspect ballots in District 15 add up to 26. And according to the Division of Elections, they're all for Gabrielle Ledoux.
Now, since the state primary last Tuesday, Ledoux has overcome a 3-vote deficit to a lead of 87 votes today after question and absentee ballots were counted. The Division of Elections says that's not counting the 26 suspect ballots. Joe.
All right, Liz, thanks. And right now we want to bring in Republican Party Chair Tuckerman Babcock, who yesterday blamed fellow Republican Gabrielle Ledoux for those questionable ballots. Now, we want to, first of all, remind viewers that the party was hoping to unseat Ledoux in the primary after she joined the House majority, led by Democrats. So, Tuckerman, you just heard what Liz reported, and a couple times you sighed and shook your head. What's your reaction to what she reported, specifically all those people using that home as an address but not living there?
Well, I think that's some very good reporting on the part of Liz Raines, and I think it's rather insulting for Gabrielle Ledoux to say that Laura Chang in that trailer didn't understand the question. Laura spoke perfectly good English and understood what she was being asked. What we don't understand is how Gabrielle Ledoux, and now blaming Charlie Chang, the man she hired, is now the man supposedly responsible for this. And we go back to the facts: 7 deceased people applying for ballots, people saying that they never voted or applied for absentee ballots. Last night I got a call from Rick Phillips, one of the Democratic candidates for State House. He said that 3 of his neighbors, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, it's Xiong, they're on Pauline Street. None of them, they all wanted to vote for him on the Democratic ballot. A man named Chang came by their house. They all ended up getting Republican ballots in the mail. I don't know whether they voted or not. That's the details the Division of Elections is looking into. Bottom line for the Republican Party, this is going to be sorted out by the Division of Elections and the State Department of Law, and we hope that they pursue it until they find out who's responsible. Meantime, the Republican Party does not acknowledge Gabrielle Ledoux as a Republican candidate. We're certainly not going to acknowledge a fraudulent process in this election. And we are going to focus on meeting with Aaron Weaver and local leaders in the party to talk about supporting a write-in candidate for a Republican that we can be proud of.
So we are going to do that, look for a write-in candidate?
We certainly are.
Okay. If you don't find one, would you encourage Republican voters to choose Democrat Lynn Franks by chance? But I'm assuming you're going in a different direction.
I'm going to work on a very different direction, but anybody but Gabrielle Ledoux.
Okay, so I want to ask you, yesterday you said that this is real corruption, is what you said, things going on. And you wouldn't be surprised if this warrants a criminal referral. Do you think that there is clear evidence against Ledoux where she should face a criminal investigation?
I think it's premature for me to say that. I do trust the Department of Law and the Division of Elections to collect the evidence. I stand by saying that all fingers point to Ledoux. She's the only one yesterday that I thought would benefit from this, and we saw that in the votes counted today. In fact, the question ballots 100% for Ledoux. I think it's still pretty strong evidence that somehow she's connected or behind it.
I want to ask you one more thing. So Ms. Ledoux, she put out a statement today, I'm quoting here, "I have never looked for ways to manufacture votes," which is what the Republican Party chairman is accusing me of. "In this day and age of voter verification, that would be absurd." What's your response to that?
Then I think she's been absurd.
No question in your mind, it sounds like to me.
There's no question in my mind at all.
Okay, fair enough. Tuckerman Badcock, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. All right.